Good afternoon, students. Today we will learn about a new topic in CNS, that is hemisection and cross section of spinal cord. So, before directly landing in cross section and hemisection or injuries of spinal cord, we must know basic about functional neuroanatomy of spinal cord. That what are the basic structure and what is the function of each. Then we'll go in the cross section or complete section of spinal cord. So for that we are starting with the basic neuroanatomy of spinal cord. So spinal cord is a commence from the CNS or in the brain in the continuation in the central canal of vertebral column. From vertebral column again it is divided in a different or each vertebral level we have a spinal nerves which are coming out from spinal cord, and each nerve have a two branches, that is ventral and dorsal branches, and there again further is going and forming the different algorithm and maintaining the different nerves or plexus. Like if in the upper part then we have a brachial plexus, then in the lower part you have a lumbar plexus, sacral plexus, like that, and forming the different nerves like radial, brachial, ulnar, sciatic. All kind of nerves will be formed from this ventral and dorsal rami, right and left branch of each side. In this diagram we are able to see two things together, a spinal cord as well as vertebral column. This diagram is for understanding of anatomy and its function. So if you see, first of all there is a vertebral body, okay, and have two wings, okay, in between there is a foramen, and through each vertebra there is a formation of vertebral canal or central canal through which this spinal cord is passing through and ending in lower border of L1 or upper crest of L2. Okay, and this spinal cord, if you see the anatomy, so spinal cord is covered with three different layers, that is pia mater, arachnoid mater and dura mater. That is are the coverings, three different coverings of spinal cord. After that, if you see inside the cover, there is each spinal nerve roots are coming. Before going to the spinal nerve roots, if we see the grey and white matter, so H shape grey matter will be there in the spinal cord, while in the rest of the part there will be a white matter. In the brain it will be the vice versa, that grey matter will be outside and white matter will be inside. So the different roots are coming out, that is a ventral root and dorsal root, or that is also called as anterior root and posterior root, or anterior rami and posterior rami, which combining together and forming the spinal nerves. Before forming the spinal nerve there is a DNR, dorsal nerve root ganglion. There is a bulge kind of a structure, okay, and which is responsible for a different kind of sensation and stimulations. Okay, and after DNR there will be formation of spinal nerves, and all the spinal nerves forming the different kind of plexus and all. How the nerves is coming out from the net, if you see in the bottom of the diagram, okay, so we are able to see that after DNR through the spinal foramina, this all nerve roots are coming and forming the different structure and combining together and forming specific nerve and supplying for both sensory as well as motor cortex. As we see, the basic arise from the caudal portions of the neural tube. So development, spinal cord arise from the caudal portions of neural tube and it extend up to the lower end of sacrum during early fetal development, and in the 20 weeks of gestational life or intrauterine life it will reach up to the L4 and L5 level. At the time of birth it will reach up to the upper border of L3 vertebra, and as it become adult or up to the age of 2 months, then the spinal cord is getting completed or getting exit at lower border of L1 or upper crest of L2. In this diagram we are able to see the spinal nerves. Okay, so C1, there is a formula for that we will see in the coming videos, that in the cervical there will be 8 spinal nerve roots, thoracic there will be 12, lumbar there will be 5, sacral there will be 5, and in coccygeal there will be 1. So the first nerve root, that is C1, is coming from the above the C1 or after the foramen magnum. Okay, that's why it's have a 8. So for that mnemonic is also there, that for upper cervical same as vertebra, lower cervical plus 1, upper thoracic plus 2, lower thoracic plus 2 or plus 3, and L1 and L2 does not have any spinal level of spinal cord. Okay, that we will see in the coming classes. So ventral and anterior is a part of synonyms, and dorsal and posterior. Okay, so this is how C8 single spinal nerve is coming just below the C7, and T1 is coming just below the T1. Same way the L1 is coming just below the L1 from the cauda equina, or that is called the conus medullaris. Then subarachnoid space is there where we have a cauda tendineae. Okay, and after that there will be terminations of dural sac and subarachnoid space. So spinal cord lies in the vertebral canal, already we know, and extend level from the cranial border of atlas or in continuation of medulla to the lower border of L1 vertebra or upper border of L2 in adult. Average length in the adult male will be 45 cm and 40-43 cm in female. Weight will be approximately 30 grams. Corresponding average length of spinal column is about 70 cm and anchored by the dura mater or by dendroid or denticulate ligament. Cylindrical in shape and flattened dorso-ventrally, and has cervical C5 to T1 and lumbar L3 to H2 enlargement. Okay, there's have two kind of enlargement at C5 to T1 and L3 to H2 level. Below the lumbar enlargement, spinal cord narrows and ending, that is known as conus medullaris. And from conus medullaris, a fine pile thread or phylum terminae approximate 20 cm long passes down to the dorsum of coccyx. Although it is a continuation and non-segmental structure, 31 pair of originating nerve give it segmental appearance, that is 8 cervical, 12 thoracic, 5 lumbar, 5 sacral and 1 coccygeal. Lower group of nerves congregate around the phylum terminale in spinal theca is known as cauda tendineae. And this is the spinal cord level, and corresponding vertebral body has to be identified. Upper same as cord level, lower plus 1, upper thoracic plus 2, lower thoracic plus 2 to 3, and lumbar T10 to T12 and sacral T20 to L1. So that was about a normal structural anatomy. Now we will see about the cross-sectional anatomy. So centrally there will be a place of grey matter, H-shape surrounded by the white matter, and external surface marked by the ventral median fissure and dorsal median sulcus, dividing them into two symmetrical halves. Okay, central place grey matter, S-shape surrounded by the white matter, and ventral median fissure and dorsal median sulcus, dividing them into two symmetrical halves. Each lateral column have a dorsal horn and ventral horn, two horns, and additionally there will be intermediolaterally grey column at T1 to L2 level, which giving rising to preganglionic sympathetic autonomic fibers, and S2, S3 and S4 have a parasympathetic outflow. So we are able to see clearly now. There is a 3 posterior gray matter, lateral gray horn, posterior gray horns, lateral gray horns and anterior gray horns. 1 fissure and 1 sulcus. There is a in between central canal. Okay, lateral wide matter and complete H shape is noted. Okay, or in the lateral half you have a dorsal root and ventral root, and from dorsal root you have a somatic sensory pathways, then visual sensory pathway, then visual motor pathways and somatic motor pathways. Now in case of nuclei in the spinal gray matter, so there is a basically 2 kind of nuclei. One is a ventral gray column, another is a dorsal gray column. Now in ventral gray column, again it will be divided in 3 different groups. First one is a medial group, which is again subdivided in dorsomedial and ventromedial parts. While in lateral group, it consisting of dorsolateral, ventrolateral and retro-dorsolateral groups. While in the central group, it will be represented by phrenic and accessory nuclei in cervical region and lumbosacral nucleus in the lumbosacral region. And second nuclei, that is dorsal gray column, it's again have 4 parts, that is substantia gelatosa near the apex, nucleus proprius, that is dorsal funicular group, then dorsal nucleus, that is in the Clark's column, and fourth one is a marginal zone or posterior marginal nucleus. Same